In King's Rest, they massively reduced the timer from 42 minutes to 33 minutes, although the dungeon does seem a bit tight now. The first 4 golems do pulsing AoE damage every time they melee. The mobs in the Golden Serpent room do basically nothing. They remove the tornadoes, and the only thing happening is infrequent green swirlies and a kick. On the first boss, the Spit Gold debuff does less damage but goes on 2 players at a time. After the first boss, the Gauntlet has reduced RP time between each spawn, and each pack has more sources of group damage. I estimate the RP reduction to be a 40-second time save. The Purification Golem on the bridge no longer casts the rotating beam. The green slimes no longer constantly shoot swirlies, they now only shoot swirlies when they die, and there are new mobs in this room called half-finished mummies with a kick that is an AoE disease. Machimba seems identical. I am not sure if you can still bug him out, but he doesn't do much anyways. The packs after Machimba have been changed. There are now 4 mobs at the start of the area, including the new Spectral Shaman that summons a Healing Tide totem that you must swap to instantly or it will heal the pack for a lot. They removed the Spectral Beastmasters with the Poison Barrage in this area. The third boss is a fixed rotation of Kula into Akali into Zanazal, and Zanazal only spawns 3 totems in his ultimate. The Earthwall totem is removed. Shadow of Zul no longer destroys the tank. Shadow Barrage is now a dot that goes on other group members for greatly reduced damage, and you can no longer outrange the soak. And Dazar has been reworked fully into a very hectic fight. Rebarn is spawned on pull, and at 80%, Dazar will mount Tazala for the entire rest of the fight, making it fully 2-target cleave. There are constant spear drops, spread mechanics, and a frontal from the boss. The count in this dungeon was changed so that you need to kill every single mob to hit 100%. Temple of Sethraliss keeps its 36-minute timer. The trash in the first half of the dungeon is a lot more debuff focused with bleeds and poisons as most of its damage, as opposed to what it was in the past with blade flurries and shoots. The stealth mobs no longer instantly cheap shot the tank. It is now an interruptible ability when they come out of stealth. The first boss no longer has a reflect shield. It is just a damage reduction, meaning you can stack the bosses but only damage one at a time. The boss mechanics were completely reworked to include a dot, line spread, soak, and tornadoes that silence you. The trash between first and second boss is again a lot more debuff focused. Merektha is partially reworked. You now get 2 knots of snakes at a time that can be broken by stunning them, and there are some swirlies to dodge. When Merektha burrows, the ads spawned are different, and killing them will end the burrow phase. The trash leading to Galvast is mostly the same but a little bit rearranged. Galvast now always spawns 2 pillars that have no ramping debuff. They simply need to be soaked by anyone. The soak increases your physical damage taken, so tanks probably can't soak. If you fail to soak, you won't die, but the entire group will get a debuff reducing damage done by 50%. The orb minigame has been changed. You now need to charge 2 orbs by simply standing near them. When an orb hits 50% charge, it will spawn 2 temple disruptors that need to be kicked and stopped. The bridge to the last boss is completely removed. The only mobs on the bridge now are some faithless conscript smallies. At the end of the bridge is a pack consisting of a single Hexa and 4 mobs that fixate the healer. The last boss is partially redesigned. Each phase only has 2 enemies channeling into the avatar that must be killed to heal it, and the other enemies have more aero denial mechanics and a ground effect that hexes you. The boss still has the single target healing phase, and during the phase there are some Sethrak spawns that will fixate the healer. You no longer get a damage buff on the final phase. Ruby Life Pools maintains its 30-minute timer. There are 2 extra mobs at the start with the Juggernaut, and the Juggernaut now does a big AoE damage and dot. The Tectonic Slam cast is removed, and the Chill Shield is no longer purgeable, so some mobs start with a massive 5-stack shield that you must break. Defiler Draghar now has a door behind him, meaning you must kill him before fighting the boss. Meladrusa Chillworm's tank mechanic is now interruptible and has a much longer cast time, which will make our first RLP this season a little bit easier. The chill bombs will no longer one-shot you if you get hit, instead they reduce your haste by 50% for 20 seconds. When Meladrusa phases, the shield will be much larger but the damage ramps up slower. In the second area, there are a lot less caster mobs. 2 of the Blazebinder packs are just 1 solo Blazebinder, and the living bomb mechanic was moved from the Blazebinders to the casters. The 2 Dragon Pats are now walking instead of flying. I am not sure how this will affect skips. And Thunderhead's Dispel now gives the group a dot rather than one-shotting everyone. Do not pull the mobs in the middle, they still suck and give low count. On Koikia Blazehoof, the ad is no longer baited, instead one player is given a circle that spawns the ad. The ad spawns are now in a 40-second interval rather than a 30-second interval. The boulder visual is a lot nicer and easier to see. I have not been able to check if they fixed the curb bug yet. The Tempest channelers on the bridge no longer do an AoE, instead they will channel Lightning Torrent into one single person. The Warriors now have a massive radius on their Thunderclap, so they do the group damage instead. They also removed the Flame channelers. High Channeler Rivati also does this lightning torrent mechanic. On the last boss, they removed the Inferno Core mechanic, meaning if you walk into a pool or get hit by breath, you will no longer spawn additional pools, so the fight cannot spiral out of control. The winds are also a bit weaker, but they did not change anything about the overlaps in Phase 2. Last week, we tested the 4 new Midnight Dungeons that were previously played in M0s. I won't list every change since M0s, but some notable things are there are less casters in Den of Naralak and Murder Row, and the bosses in Void Sky Arena were completely redesigned.